Take it easy, baby. The whisper that changed everything. A true infidelity story. Take it easy, Claire, he whispered. His voice was a low hum, brushing against the silence of the room like a secret. And in that moment, I should have pulled his hand away. I should have reminded myself of the roles we were supposed to play: patient and caregiver, survivor and helper. But when his rough, work-worn fingers grazed the sensitive skin above my knee, I didn't move. My eyelids fluttered shut. Then he said it softly, so gently I almost missed it. I just don't want you to hurt anymore. The words felt innocent, like kindness, but they slipped into me like a key turning in a lock I didn't even know was there. From that moment, the woman I thought I was, the woman the world thought I was, began to unravel. This isn't just a story about guilt or desire or even betrayal. It's about the quiet truths we bury, the loneliness that twists inside us when we've lost too much, and the way love, or something dangerously close to it, can bloom in the unlikeliest of places. Years ago, I wasn't this woman. I wasn't fragile, broken, or confined to a chair. I was Claire Martin, head librarian at Oak Haven's Community Library, Sunday hiker, lover of coastal cliffs and wine-burned cheeks. I had a body that answered me, a will that carried me. Then, one rainy night, a logging truck caught my passenger side on a slick highway. The world spun, and when I opened my eyes again, it was 3 weeks later in a hospital bed. My legs steel and scars, my hips bolted. Pain became my constant companion. The surgeon said I was lucky to be alive. But lucky tastes bitter when you can't walk to the bathroom without help. When stairs in your own home become mountains you'll never climb again. The vibrant woman I'd been, the one who ran late-night book clubs and hiked the cliffs at sunrise, she was gone. And in her place was someone I didn't recognize. Someone people whispered about in the grocery store. Such a shame. She used to be so full of life, and then Daniel came. Daniel had been hired by the state program, part caregiver, part aide, part companion. He was 28, strong, steady, with a quiet presence that filled the hollow spaces my accident had carved out. His voice was deep now, his hands confident as he lifted me from bed to chair, chair to bath. He moved with an ease that belied the weight he carried my weight. At first, it was necessity. He cooked, he shopped, he made sure I took my medications. He carried the world I could no longer lift. But slowly, so slowly, I almost didn't see it happening. Something shifted. It wasn't just that he cared for me. It was the way he saw me, not as a patient, not as a burden, but as Claire. It began on an ordinary evening. My legs were throbbing, the coastal chill burrowing into my bones. Daniel knelt beside the sofa, gently rolling up the cuffs of my sweatpants. His hands warm, strong, just a little rough pressed into my calves. "Hurting again?" he asked softly. His thumbs worked deep into the tight knots of muscle, and relief flooded me, raw and almost shameful. Then his thumb slipped just an inch higher than it should have. A brush against the tender crease where thigh meets hip. My breath caught. His hand faltered too. We froze, suspended in the thick silence of the room. "Sorry," he whispered, snatching his hand back. But the heat of it lingered, branding me. And before I could think better of it, I whispered, "No, it's fine." He looked at me then, his gaze unreadable, searching. Something unspoken passed between us, something neither of us dared to name. He pulled the fabric back down, carefully, respectfully. "You're all right," he murmured. But I wasn't, not anymore. From that night forward, every touch carried meaning, the brush of his hand against mine, the way his eyes softened when they rested on me, the warmth of his arms when he lifted me. My body remembered, my mind replayed. A slow burn ignited in the quiet hours of our shadowed house. One night, when sleep evaded me, my light still on, I heard the door creak open. "Still awake?" Daniel asked, hair tousled, voice husky with drowsiness. Can't sleep, I whispered. He sat on the edge of the bed, uninvited, but not unwelcome. Want me to stay? I nodded. He leaned back against the headboard, his long legs stretched beside mine. Slowly, the rhythm of his breathing deepened, evening out as he drifted to sleep. I told myself not to move, but my hand betrayed me, rising of its own accord. I brushed the hair from his forehead, traced the line of his temple. My fingers lingered at the nape of his neck, soft, vulnerable. A motherly gesture, I told myself. A harmless one, but my heart hammered with the truth I refused to say aloud. He never mentioned it. Yet after that, his eyes lingered longer. His hand, when steadying me, lingered too. And God help me, I let it. The tension grew like a storm cloud. The silence in our house wasn't empty anymore. It was heavy, charged, waiting. Every laugh we shared, every brush of fingers across the dinner table became something more. And then it happened. A storm raged outside, the rain battering the windows. Daniel came in from his shift at the docks, soaked through, his shirt clinging to his chest. He tossed his boots aside and sat beside me on the sofa, closer than ever before. His hand slipped beneath the quilt, found mine. Our fingers intertwined, hesitant at first, then firm. My breath shook. "If this is wrong," he whispered, his voice rough, "tell me to stop." I didn't. I couldn't. Our lips met desperate, hungry, a collision years in the making. His hands cupped my face. Mine clutched at his damp shirt. The world fell away, and for the first time since the accident, I felt alive. Alive and utterly undone. The morning after, I avoided his eyes. Poured coffee. Forced conversation about the weather. My hands trembled as I buttered toast. "That's the third time you've thanked me for the butter," he said quietly. I froze, then whispered, "Do you regret it?" "No," he said, his voice steady. Not for a second, I wanted to believe him. But guilt society's whispers, the fear of judgment coiled inside me. Still, when I looked into his eyes, what I saw wasn't shame. It was tenderness, defiance, a kind of love I thought I'd lost forever. And maybe, just maybe, that was enough. They'll still call me courageous at the grocery store. They'll say I'm lucky to have someone like Daniel. They'll never know the truth. Behind closed doors, we carry it in silence, in shared glances, in the warmth of a hand in mine. And when he leans down to whisper, "Take it easy, baby," I realize something. I'm not broken anymore, for